What would you do? Correction, what are you going to do if you found out that a group of unhappy protesters, dissatisfied with a certain verdict, threatened to come to your town to burn it to the ground? Can you kind of see now Kyle's reasons for doing what he did?
Shut up, Brian. Those are mostly peaceful protests, and you know it.
Before we get into this video, I want to give a quick shout out to my sponsor, backupsolarbank.com. What you got here is a beefy backup power bank that can be powered by the sun and through a regular wall outlet. It has a built-in LED flashlight and SOS strobe light features that can be seen far away, a high battery capacity of 20,000 milliamp hours, wireless charging that automatically recognizes most devices, and it has a bi-directional fast charging Type-C port, USB port, and a USB QC 3.0 fast charging output port, which can charge 3 devices at the same time. Do yourself a favor and grab a couple of them for you and your friends. My discount link is in the description below.
Oh, this is interesting. Andy No recorded this. He says, large crowd of far left protesters march in New York City to protest Rittenhouse verdict and to chant about burning down every police station. Listen to what they're saying here. It's difficult to understand what the chant leader is saying, but the chant leaders are saying every city, every town, and the protesters are responding with burn every precinct to the ground. Burn the precincts to the ground. Every city, every town, burn the precincts to the ground. And if you think this is rare, if you think this is an anomaly, this is just basically the MO of the BLM movement. Remember, the BLM movement led by people like Hawk Newsom in the greater New York area, or Patrisse Cullors, who says we're trained Marxists. They're trained to create chaos in cities. Basically, that's what Marxism is. That's what socialism is. That's what communism is. And in case you think this kind of chant is rare, in case you think their modus operandi or this mantra is rare, let me just take you back to this. This is a Vice episode that they aired back on June 18th, 2020, and it's still up on the internet, even though Hawk Newsom actually made a terrorist threat that goes out over all America. Listen to what he says. Basically, in essence, if black people don't get what they want, we're going to burn this country to ashes. Now, if you or I said that, that might be we might be getting a knock at the door by the authorities. Maybe the FBI, maybe the, alcohol, tobacco, and firearms might be knocking on our door within the week saying, hey, you made a terrorist threat, specifically a threat of arson. So you're going to start burning things down? Oh, we need to talk to you, Mr. Young. Watch what Hawk Newsom from the greater New York area BLM movement says.
We stand at a critical point in history. Give black people their rights, or we will burn this country to ashes.
Once again, and this is from Vice.
Give black people their rights.
Or what? Okay, so that's the ultimatum. Give us this, or ... What's going to happen if you don't get what you want?
Or we will burn this country to ashes.
What rights? Let me ask you a question, Hawk. What rights don't you have? You're standing in the open air in front of a large crowd with an amplification device up to your mouth, and you're free to exercise your First Amendment right. Do you not have a First Amendment right? Give us our rights. What right don't you have? You have voting. Can you vote? Yeah, you can vote. Can you speak out in public? Yep, you can. Can you have a personal protection device? Not in New York. Oh, yeah, I forgot. You chose to live in one of the most oppressive states in the United States. But what rights don't you have that the rest of us have? Give us our rights or we will burn. If you don't give us our rights, specifically what? What rights are you talking about? Equal rights. You don't have equal rights? Really, fill us in on that, because I wasn't aware that you don't have equal rights, and that's why they can chant this right here. And this is the very reason that Kyle Rittenhouse went from Antioch, Illinois to Kenosha, Wisconsin to defend it against rioters who wanted to burn his city to the ground. They're saying they want to burn the city to the ground. Dumpsters on fire, traffic cones on fire. What if you don't want that in your town? It wasn't just Kyle Rittenhouse on trial the other day. It was self-defense on trial. It was your right to keep and bear arms, which shall not be infringed, that was on trial. Listen to them again. This is their chant. This is what they want. When you say things, you reveal what your heart is. From the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. And what do they say? Do they say, peace, prosperity, we protest injustice? That would be fine. But when they say stuff like, every city, every town. Does that include Kenosha, Wisconsin? You bet it does. And you know why they're chanting this right here? Because they can't stand that white guy got acquitted of all 5 of those counts. And yet you never, what if, I would like to be on the street interviewing some of these, I don't know, maybe not. Because it's hard to have a rational discussion with somebody who's just dead set on being irrational. But I would like to ask them about this guy right here, about Andrew Coffey. Are you just as mad about Andrew Coffey being acquitted of attempted murder? Did you know that he was acquitted from all those charges? So say again, Hog Newsom, what exactly do you want? What are your demands, and what are you going to do if you don't get those demands?
We stand at a critical point in history. Give black people their rights, or we will burn this country to ashes.
While the world...
That right there is reason enough in the mind of a certain 17-year-old to go, you know what? I don't want my country burning to ashes. I don't want the town of Kenosha burning to ashes. I'm going to do whatever I can. I will be the barrier. I will be the deterrent. I'll be the one that steps up to the plate and takes the heat. It's crazy stuff.
Hey guys, we know with the way things have been going, it can get really interesting really quick. So make sure you and your family have a long-term storable food supply. Support the channel and get $50 off with my link in the description while you still can.